Hello everyone and welcome to Flosstube number 31. Hello everyone, my name is Lizzie and this is my Flosstube channel about all things cross stitch, everything I'm working on, finishing, plans, the best laid plans that don't always get followed. Alright, so I'm gonna jump in today because I have a lot to show you. I have 2 fully finished items, 3 stitchy finishes, some whips, and then I'm gonna show you my fall/August stitching plans because I really want to start focusing on fall in August. So yeah, we'll say August/fall stitchy plans. Let's go ahead and jump in. So like I said, I have 2 fully finishes and I'm very excited about these 2. So here is the first one, and these do go together, so I'm going to show them both to you together actually, and then I shall show you the each individually. So let's go to this big one. This is the Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Christmas Village Inn, and I used all the kitted materials except for the perforated paper. As you can see, this is stitched on fabric and it is 25 count vintage country mocha. It has lots of beads in there. There is where are they at? Here they are. So there's some little like swag beads right there. You can see it's the first time doing that. Those are very cute. Yeah, 2x2 on 25 count vintage country mocha, and I followed Helen D's tutorial. The only change I made is I kind of made this more of an oval, definitely more of an oval than a circle. Hers, she does circles, but I figured this shape lended better to an oval. Oh yeah, I pulled out the burgundy from this, that like dark red color, and color matched it. And it looks kind of messy on camera. It doesn't look so messy in person. Like, I think that's kind of cute. I like the unevenness of it, but I did uneven red and white. So I did more red, I believe, than white. And so I made that cording, and then I used this fabric on the back, which is just from Hobby Lobby. It's like a thicker, like a throw pillow fabric, like a thicker throw pillow home decor type fabric, and I found that at Hobby Lobby, and I bought 2 yards of it because I'm hoping that should be enough to finish all these with the same backing fabric. We shall see, but I liked that it was probably going to be a little bit sturdier and hold up maybe a little bit better. And yeah, there is that one. And then I finished this one, and I'm just going to point out the elephant in the room that this is crooked, and it's not a finishing error. It is a stitching error. You can see here, these are all even, and then it like goes up, and then it really goes up, and then it evens back out over here. So yeah, there is that. I definitely would have, like, looking back now, if I'd have realized I'd have been off, which I didn't realize at all until I came here to finish it, but I would have just scattered some extra up there. But it's finished now, so it's fine. And honestly, it doesn't bother me, and especially when I have a bunch of these sitting out, you're not gonna notice it. This is the Mill Hill Christmas Village Buttons and Beads. This one is the church. Which church? Country church. I think there's a couple churches in the series. And so we have that little button on that one, the tree. This one was a lot simpler of stitching. It's less intricate design, whereas this one had a lot more color changes and things. You can just see it's a lot more detailed, even in the coloring of the house, versus this was just a fill-in coloring. For the green here, I did not use a green from the pattern. I wanted to brighten it up a little bit, so I used a lighter green, but I did do equal parts. Ooh, that pin is not pushed in. But I used equal parts. I believe I used a crew, color matched the church, and then I put a little bit of a lighter green just to brighten it up a little bit and kind of frame it. I did use Helen D's tutorial. The only change I made again was the oval, and I believe she used straight pins, whereas I used sequin pins and left them in. I believe I've seen, I think it was Vonna Pfeiffer do that before with cording, and so I just continued that with this one because I've done that with cording before. So yeah, there are my 2 fully finishes, and I absolutely love them. I can't wait to get some more finished, and I would love to have maybe like some people, I don't know if I want to do like stitch stand-up people from a Christmas Village, or definitely like some bottle brush trees and things to kind of like break it up so it's not all just the stand-ups. So I'll have to kind of figure out this year and look around and find something to put with those. But I love that. I would love to get two more finished this year. If I'm going to do that, I need to get on the stitching. But anyway, those are my fully finishes. Let's go to the stitching finishes. So the first stitching finish is from this Timeless Ornaments. This is the Leisure Arts Presents Christmas Remembered Book 10. And I'm stitching these right here. They're on the cover. And I finished the stockings were hung. It says the stockings were hung by the chimney with care. This one's so pretty. I'm stitching this on 28 count Vintage Country Mocha. I went ahead and after I finished this one, I cut out, that is such a better picture of the fabric, getting it this close, watch that a little bit. But I went ahead and cut out the shapes for the rest of the ones that have fabric for it. I'm definitely gonna have to get some more of this fabric or do a few in a different neutrally fabric, which honestly I wouldn't mind doing that either. I used all the called for colors. The back stitch does say to do 1 strand. I did 2 for this and I did 2 for the words, but around, you can see all that 3, 3, 7, 1 around the stockings and for these little nails, I didn't follow that. I did follow the 1 strand, but everything else I did 2. I started the border with 2 and I didn't like it. I wanted that border to really be chunky and take up some space, as beautiful as it is. And so I did 2 strands for that. And so the other thing I did is on this yellow stocking, it was supposed to be backstitched. Stripes were backstitched on it, and I did leave that off. You can kind of see here, right there, there's has stripes. And I just liked it without the stripes, so I left those off. And then I didn't start another one, but this is gonna be the next one I start. The children were nestled all snug in their beds. So yeah, that'll be the next one. I don't know when I'm gonna pick that up again, but I really enjoyed working on that. The next thing I have to show you is also fully finished. This is the Scarecrow by Brookes Books. I'm stitching this on 32 count lambswool that I coffee tea dyed, and he is a finish, stitching finish at least. So basically I had from here up without the back stitch, I had that done. So I went ahead and I did his legs and I did his boots and I did this. That is a DMC Etoile there. Honestly, I saw that in the pattern and I was like, oh, that's probably gonna be a straw, but it wasn't. That was his little yellow brick road. This one is so cute. Unfortunately, this pattern is not available anymore as Brooke has passed away. So you can't get her patterns anymore, but I love this one. I stitched this one technically from my brother. This was his favorite movie as a child. Like, he was obsessed with it for such a long time. And so I saw this and it reminded me of him and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stitch this for you, but I'm keeping it. So yeah, and he was fine with that. He's like, okay, that's fine. I was like, one day I shall give it to you, but not now. So I'm gonna fully finish that soon, which, speaking of fully finishing, small fall things, I had finished a bunch of ornaments. You'll have seen if you watched my last Flosstube, and my son was like, Mommy, you should do a Halloween one. And I was like, well, baby, we don't have anywhere to put a Halloween ornament. He goes, oh, you can do a Halloween tree, which I fully understand probably sounds like it was my idea, but it 100% wasn't. He said that and I was like, okay, I'm on board. So that may go on our Halloween tree, we shall see. All right, and then my last finish for this week is My Work is Done by Praiseworthy Stitches. I stitched this 2/1. Everything except the words is 2/1. The words I did, or the letters I guess, I did 1/1, but everything else is 2/1. I used 18 count Arial and I used all the call for flosses. This one's just super pretty. It is finishable in a 4x6 frame. So that'll be really nice. I can look into a frame. I think gold will be too much with those pinks and the blue mixed together. I just don't think that'll look the best. So I think I'm gonna do a black to kind of match those scissors there and kind of bring that out a little bit. So that's my plan for that one. And those are my 3 finishes. I kind of went through a phase this weekend where I was like, I need to finish some things. I had freaked out and was panicked, like, I need to finish things. I haven't got anything finished and I have too many whips, and anyway, so I picked those up and finished them to make myself feel better. Okay, next one is a big one. We have Mirabellia Alice, and there she is in all her glory. I am stitching her on 32 count Lilac Lugana, and she is 2/2, using all the called for flosses, care and water lilies, DMC Etoile, all the things. Let me kind of give you a slip pan and then I'll show you what I worked on. So basically what I did is I filled in the white right here, I filled in the purple up here, and then I did all this in like a day and a half, I think, of stitching. It was like one weekend, so I got some more stitching done than normal, and then I kind of worked over here. So I worked on her sleeves as much as possible. I ran out of blanc while I was working on her, and I didn't feel like getting up and getting it, so I didn't quite finish her sleeves. I have to go do the filling of the blanc. I did the green, the gray, and then that gold right there is going to be her hair. So yeah, she is coming along. She's so pretty. I know I'm not quite there yet, but if anybody has tips for beading, specifically Mirabellia. Now I've done the beading on Mill Hill Buttons and Beads kits. I've done quite a few of those now. I think I've done, if I include those and my perforated paper ones, I've done quite a few of those now. But if there's any like Mira specific beading tips you have, I would love to know them. I don't have, I like to stitch in a Nerge, like the square one, and I don't have anything that's big enough to hold the whole project. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna find the most heavily beaded part and put it there and bead it in the Nerge hoop as much as possible, and then I'll take it off and do the rest in hand, is my thoughts right now. But if you have any ideas or tips or anything, I would love to know them. Or if there's any videos on YouTube that kind of tell you about that or give you advice. I haven't looked into it. I should, because that would be, if you could make that video and you have all the tips, that would be a very helpful video to make. You would have at least one viewer in me. All right, next one. This is another one I was picking up. I was like, I'm gonna get it to a finish, and then I didn't. I went on work till something else. But this is 3 Peacocks by Heartstrings Samplery. Now I did stitch this once already, and I stitched it in the called for colors. This is a free pattern, I'm not sure if I said that, but I stitched it in the called for colors. But then I kind of want to make it into a wall hanging, and so that's going to be my fall winter one, and I wanted to do this one a little bit more spring summer colors. So I'll tell you the color conversion so far of what I have. So I changed the pink to 604, the green to 700, and this brown around the border is 829. So I did have a little mess up where these flowers are supposed to be every other color is different, and I just did these two the same, and I was like, well, I don't want to frog that. So what I'm going to do is do 3 pink at the top, do 3 pink at the bottom, and then do these to a different color, because we're going to have more color variation in those peacocks in the middle anyway. So I'm going to get all the colors in there, but yeah, so that's one change I made, and I'm stitching this on 32 count vellum 2/2. So I don't have any plans to pull it out again and work on it, honestly. I feel like it's a good one to kind of have in my whip pile if I feel that way again, where I'm like, I need to get a finish. I can easily pull it out and get a finish to make myself feel better. Next thing I have is a little bit of a haul, and I actually have 2 more things coming, but they're not here yet. But I bought this Dimensions kit. So this is a Dimensions Petite Gold Collection. I haven't opened it yet. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna take this out so you can see it a little bit better. Dimensions Petite Gold Collection. This is Garden Lady. She has an 18 count, what color is it? 18 count Ivory Ada with her. I don't know if I'll use that or if I might switch it. I'll definitely soften it either way. All our flosses, and this was on sale on Amazon randomly for $7, and I did actually check before I filmed this video, and it's still on sale. So this is one I've had on my wish list, and I was like, for that cheap with free shipping, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. So I've got that, and then I have 2 more dimensions, no, 1 dimensions kit, and then another kit that I ordered from eBay coming, which I'll show you when they get here. They're on their way to me, but they're not here yet. So that would lead us into fall plans. So basically August, I want to be focused on fall stitching. I'll probably pull out my Mirabellia, and I'll probably pull out my Gilmore Girls piece on top of that. But I do want to mainly focus on fall stitching. And that means a good bit of new starts. Yeah, so this is all the things I have kitted up that I'm gonna put in a bin where if I want to pull from it and work on a fall piece, these will be in there. So this one would be a new start. This is Black Cat Bakery. Actually, I think all of these are just my kitted up projects. This is by Stitching with the Housewives, and they tell you that to get this fabric, you dye it with red apple green. And so I did that, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago now, maybe last summer. So there is that. There's my fabric I dyed. So we'll see if that gets started. I don't know if any of these will get started. There's a couple that I definitely want to start, but I'm just gonna pull these out, so if I want to work on them or start them, I can. And I'm probably gonna leave this basket out all season. I really liked doing that in Christmas in July, just having a basket where it was like all my Christmas whips were in this basket. Sorry, I'm zipping this up and putting them up so I don't get everything lost and confused. But having a basket with all my Christmas whips in it for Christmas in July was really, really helpful, because then I could kind of go to it and I would see my whips and my kitted up projects, and it made me pull from those more than going in my whip basket and have to search through all my whips to find them. So that was helpful to me. Just a little tip if you might want to try that. All right, next is Halloween time. I got this from Just Cross Stitch magazine from October 2021. This is 32 count doubloon, and there is, I'll put a picture of the pattern here, of course. And there is the flosses. There's a lot of, I think it's DMC moving, I don't know. The color of this one is C740, so you can see it has like sparkles throughout. So that'll be fun. I've never stitched with that before. This is one of those that I definitely want to start, and that is a beautiful fabric. Next is the Liz Matthews Pumpkin House, and I would specifically start the top portion because I thought I had fabric for both, but I guess not. I might have something in my stash I could use for that bottom one, but I only had kitted up the top fabric, which is the called for Haunted. I do think it called for 18. I'm using 32. I'm not for sure about the count it called for, but I'm using 32 count Haunted. So yeah, that's another one I would love to start. Next one is another one I really wanted to start. I really wanted to start this one on Halloween last year, but I just didn't get around to it. This is the Mysterious Halloween Town by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It's so cute. I've got an XU Designs fabric here. This is Marbled Hazelnut. I don't know which side I want to use. It is making it a lot more stark white in the contrast in the photo. Or actually, it's more of like a creamier latte color. I wonder if I put it on this. Yeah, that's a little bit more true. It still is making this a little bit whiter than it actually is. Very, very mottled. So I'm excited to use that. I don't know how much of this it'll take up. I'm not sure. I'll have to go and measure that out before I start. Another one that I've had kitted up since last year is Midnight Magic by Emma Congdon. And I believe this is from, I have it written down. Yes, the October 2021 Cross Stitcher magazine. Here's all the colors. I feel like this one would be so easy. Such an easy stitch. This is just an 18 count navy Ada. I would 100% soften this before I started it, so I need to go ahead and do that so it'll be ready to go or I want to work on it. But yeah, that one looks like super simple, super pretty though. I want to start some more Halloween projects. I feel like I have so many kitted up, and all of these have been kitted up for a long time but I haven't started them, so I would love to just get some starts in. I feel like this is the end of the year of starts for me. I feel like I've just started a bunch of things, and honestly, my whip count is not that high. I think it's like 13, but it feels like I've started a bunch, which I guess I have, because I think a lot of my Christmas and July starts were ornaments, so I went ahead and got those finished. All right, then I have the Primitive Hair Spooky Countdown. Now this is a whip, but my plan for this one is to, and this is on 32 count lambswool that I coffee tea dyed, but my plan for this one is to put in a strand a day every day of August. just to make some good progress on this one, because this isn't one I like to sit and stitch for long periods of time. I kind of get bored when I do that. And so I think by doing one strand a day, I think I'm going to get a lot of progress on it, but also be able to work on other things too. So that is my plan for that. And in my last bag, I have what I'm calling the bag of smalls. So I have a few different fabrics here. I have a purple that I want to pull too that I might use. And then I have a bunch of floss that I have pulled for a ton of smalls that I want to work on. Some of them are paper patterns. Most of them are digital patterns. I'm not going to show you the patterns yet because I don't know exactly what I'm going to start. And like I said, most of them are digital. This is going to be my main focus because I need to make some ornaments for a Halloween tree because I have no Halloween ornaments. So this is going to be my main focus. You're going to see me start and finish a lot of smalls, hopefully in August. And so then I'll add that to my little bag. And so here is my, or not my bag, my basket. Here's my basket of all my potential starts. And then I do need to go through and pull out my whips. Of course, I have the, sorry, I need to reach it, this spooky countdown, which is going to go in my stitching basket beside my couch. So I'll make sure I work on it every day. I'm not going to let myself work on any other project until I put my strand in on that every day of August. So hopefully that'll have some good progress next time I come to you. All right. And oh, let me tell you, the only personal life update I have is my pumpkins. Like, we're just living life. It's been summer. There's been heat warnings out, you know, just doing all the summer things. But my pumpkins are thriving. I'm going to put some pictures here of the leaves and the flowers. They are flowering. They do flower. So they are flowering. Now, there's two different flowers. There's a male flower and a female flower. So the females produce pumpkins, whereas the males don't. They just flower. So I think you're supposed to get males first. So I think we're on our round of males and then the females will come. We have a ton of buds that haven't opened up yet. They're doing well. They're thriving. And I'll put some pictures of them here because I know a few of y'all asked for that last time. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone last time for commenting your Christmas in July or stitchy whips that you were working on. That was so fun to see. And I'm so glad you enjoyed the Flosstube extras in July too. I was really glad that you enjoyed them as much as I did. And I'll see y'all in 2 weeks with another stitchy update, hopefully with lots of fall Halloween stitching progress and starts. Bye guys.